Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video on Ondo. Had to make a video on that. Wanted to keep you all updated because I was wrong, or at least, well, it's a little bit complicated, but my last video was wrong. In the sense that we have broken down, right? My main support level and the main area where I bought Ondo the last time. I've bought Ondo twice in June. The first time was right here. There I made a nice profit, and that was also spoken about in the video. Although, you know, price found support a little bit higher, as you can see. So made profit there, but then the last time we did get a bounce with Ondo right here at the main level where I also in the video said, you know, I'm going to buy Ondo here around 75 cents. And we were unable to get anything meaningful from that. And in hindsight, I should have known when, and you can see that right here, right? Ondo got a pretty good reaction, first of all, to that level at 75 cents, but then you can see a very strong reaction at the 7-day rolling VWAP, at the value area low of the range that Ondo has been in for the last couple of months, and at the 4-hour trend. So there I should have already probably known that there was a lot of, you know, there was quite a lot of bearish pressure in general. And that ultimately, in combination with the fundamentals, let's be honest about that, caused a bearish breakdown, all right? And that's when we broke down below 75 cents, which you can see on the higher time frames, was a pretty relevant support level. And that's also why we started dropping down into this next support level right here between 65 and 55 cents. And that's where we are right now. But that means when we're talking about the structure here for Ondo, I find it difficult to call this a bearish structure, but I think we have to call it bearish, at least on the lower time frames, right? Especially since we have broken down below that level at 76 cents. So is there completely no hope for Ondo left right now? No, definitely not, right? There is still a lot of hope. If you take a look at the fundamentals are still great for Ondo. I'm not sure if we can actually see some fees and revenue for Ondo as well. I'm not sure if this data, if we can trust this data, to be fair. Potentially, it's a little bit of a difficult data to read. But all right, so the fundamentals for Ondo in general, we've spoken about that very often, are still good. But technically, we have just lost an amazing support level. We lost that with strength, with volume, which means it's most likely going to hold that breakdown. Even though the fundamentals for Ondo are good, fundamentals in the general markets are not good. So I would say it's most likely that, you know, the only way, I think it's most likely will stay down here, right? And staying down here means that the main support level where we can actually find some support and where we can actually build a strong foundation is right here between 55 and 65 cents. I think that level is going to hold, but that does mean that I think we can drop down lower, especially with these fundamentals. And then the only way we can actually form a bottom is if the general crypto markets start to form a bottom, which at this point of time, if you take a look at Bitcoin, is a possibility. But if you take a look at the Bitcoin dominance in combination with Bitcoin, it's a little bit harder. And then the general fundamentals in the world also do not, I think, support building a bottom right here. So I think it's most likely we'll drop down a bit lower. We'll find support right there. And then later, maybe from here, we can see a reversal. And otherwise, I mean, of course, like technically we can get a reversal, but otherwise it's most likely going to be a reversal of Ondo based on fundamentals, right? So if we see de-escalation in the Middle East, Ondo will reclaim 75 cents before you know it, right? So that is still a possibility, especially since the breakdown happened over the course of the weekend, and since it's a relatively recent breakdown. But as it stands right now, I both fundamentally and technically, I think you'd have to assume that we're going to drop down lower. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know regarding Ondo. Those are my thoughts on it right now. I have sold my Ondo position, by the way, at a loss of about, what is it? Of about 10-11%, just for transparency. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.